Hello children, hope you're all safe and doing good. Today I'm going to take up a lesson from Supplementary Reader. It so happened Class 8 English NCERT. The name of the lesson is How the Camel Got His Hump. It is written by Rudyard Kipling. Now let us know about the author Rudyard Kipling. Joseph Rudyard Kipling was an English journalist, short story writer, poet, and a novelist. He was born on December 30, 1865 in Mumbai. Kipling's works of fiction include The Jungle Book, Kim, and many short stories including The Man Who Would Be King, Mowgli's Brother, Baba Black Sheep, Tiger Tiger. And coming to poems, If, The White Man's Burden, Mandalay, Boots, Tommy, etc. He received the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year 1907. He died on January 18th in London at the age of 70. Now here you can see the first book, children, that is Just So Stories. So in this particular book, Rudyard Kipling has written around 12 fables. And this particular lesson, How the Camel Got His Hump, is one among them. And the other stories are like this: How the whale got his throat, how the rhinoceros got his skin, how the leopard got his spots, the elephant's child, and so on. So please take time to read these stories, children. Really, you will enjoy reading them. Now, let us move on to the lesson. How the Camel Got His Hump. This is a story from Rudyard Kipling's collection called Just So Stories. The story is set in Arabia when the world was new and camels did not have humps. The author tells us about the time when the world had just begun. The animals were working for humans. There was one lazy animal that did not want to work and said nothing but hump. So now we'll do the part 1 and we'll see the main points here, children. The world had just begun and the animals were working for humans. So when the world has started, at that particular time, animals, they were working for human beings. There was one lazy animal that did nothing and said nothing but hump. So Humph. So what is this hump? Hump is an expression which is slightly scornful or a feeling of superior or dissatisfaction. So here there was one lazy animal. It did not do anything, but it just said hump. Even the clever jinn was at his wits' end. So here jinn refers to, it is a spirit that has strange powers and can assume any form. Assume any form means it can come in any form. It is a spirit. And even that clever jinn was at his wits' ends. At his wits' ends is a phrase, children. Even that jinn was also confused. In the beginning, when the world was new and the animals were just beginning to work for man, there was a camel and he lived in the middle of a howling desert because he did not want to work. So here, at the beginning of when the world started and when it was new, and all the animals were working for human beings or working for man, and at that particular time there was one animal. And what is that particular animal, children? Camel. And where did it live? Yes, right, in the middle of a howling desert. So what is this howling desert? Yes, a howling desert, it is a desert where you hear howling noises of both animals and the wind. Okay, so in the middle of that particular desert, this camel lived. Because why did it live over there? Because it did not want to work. Okay, he ate sticks and thorns and prickles. So what are these sticks? Sticks, you all know it. Prickles refers to, they are the small thorns. Okay, it ate those things in order to fill its stomach. And when everybody spoke to him, he said hump, just hump, and no more. So when everybody spoke to him is when the other animals came to this particular animal, that is camel, in order to come and accompany them in the work. At that particular time, this camel just said hump. So hump means it is a sound made by the animal in order to show that it doesn't want to come with them, or in order to show its unhappiness, or in order to show displeasure or disgust. Clear, children? Now we'll move on to the next slide. Presently, the horse came to him on Monday morning with a saddle on his back, okay, and said, oh camel, come out and trot like the rest of us. So presently the horse came. So next, which animal came to it? You can see on the top, children, horse. It came. So when did it come? Right, it came on Monday morning with a saddle on his back. You can see a saddle, children. Okay, leather one. Okay, it came with a saddle on his back, and it said, camel, oh camel, you come out and trot like the rest of us. So trot means to take short steps, to walk, to take short steps, and it invited this camel to come along with them, right? Hump, said the camel, and the horse went away and told the man. So what did the response of the camel? It said hump, so it was not agreeing to come with the horse. And this horse, it went to the man and it told the man that it is not willing to come, right? Then presently the dog came to him with a stick in his mouth and said, you can see in the picture, dog came to the camel. So what it had in its mouth? Right, a stick. Camel, oh camel, come and fetch and carry like the rest of us. So fetch means to bring. So even the dog invited, or even the dog called the camel to come along with the dog in order to bring the things. Okay, to fetch the things, to bring the things like the rest of us. Rest of us means all the other animals, they are carrying certain things. Even it wanted the camel also to come and work along with them. Hump, said the camel, and the dog went away and told the man. So what was the response here to the dog, children? Yes, hump. And then this dog went away and it told the man. Presently the ox came to him with the yoke on his neck and said, so now you can see here, children, yoke. Yoke means it is a piece of wood fixed on the neck of an animal to plough the field. Okay, here a picture is given now, right, at the bottom. Okay, then that will be fixed on these animals, okay, this ox, and it has to plough the field, right? Then what did it say? What did this ox ask the camel to come along with it, isn't it, children? Presently the ox came to him with the yoke on his neck and said, camel, oh camel, come and plough like the rest of us. So rest of us means everyone, we are ploughing the field. You also come and plough. Okay, you also come. So plough means to turn up the land to prepare for planting, right? Okay, so farmers, they plough the field before they sow the seeds. Hump, said the camel, and the ox went away and told the man. So what did this animal do? Camel, it said, again it said hump. Okay, and then this particular ox, it went away and it told the man. At the end of the day, the man called the horse and the dog and the ox together and said, three, oh three, I am very sorry for you. So now at the end of the day means, at the end of the day, in the evening, he called. Whom did he call? Horse, dog, and the ox. And then he said, he expressed certain things. He said 303. So 303 refers to these three animals. And he says that I'm very sorry for you. So why he is sorry? Let us see in the next slide why the man is sorry. He says 303, I'm very sorry for you. But the hump thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now. So I'm going to leave him alone, and you must work double time to make up for it. So what is this word? See this phrase, children, to make up. To make up means to compensate. So now this man says that hump thing in the desert. So what is that hump thing? It refers to, yes, it refers to the camel. So that camel, it is there in the desert and it always says hump, and that it can't work. He says that the man says that it can't work, or it can't work. Why it can't work? If at all, if that camel had the intention to do work or to do any sort of work or help the man, then it would have come along with these three animals, right? And so that's why he says, or he would have been here by now. Okay, so I'm going to leave him alone. So man says that I will leave that animal, that camel, alone, and you must work double time to make up for it. So you have to share that the camel's work. You have to work double time in order to compensate the work. That made the three very angry. So who are the three children? Yes, it is the horse, the ox, and the dog. So they got very angry and they held a panchayat on the edge of the desert. So edge refers to it is the margin, okay, the margin of the desert. And the camel came chewing cud and laughed at them. Then he said, "Hump," and went away again. So what did the camel was doing at that time? The camel came chewing cud. So what is this chewing cud, children? So partly the digested food, no? This animal, they'll return it back from the first stomach for further chewing again, right? Now, presently, there came along the jinn who was in charge of all deserts, rolling in a cloud of dust. So, who came there? Yes, jinn. So, he is in charge of what? Of all desert. So, how did he come? He had come in the rolling of he had come in the rolling, that is a cloud of dust. The dust was rolling, and from there, this jinn has turned up. Okay. "Jinn of all deserts," said the horse, "is it right for anyone to be idle?" "Certainly not," said the jinn. So here these animals, what did this animals all are there in front of you? Can see the picture, children? So in the cloud of dust you can see jinn and all the animals are there in front of this jinn. And one animal, that is the horse said, "Jinn of all deserts, is it right for anyone to be idle?" It is putting a question to jinn. Is it right that anyone can be idle? Idle means lazy. "Certainly not," said the jinn. "Well," said the horse, "there's a thing in the middle of the desert with a long neck and long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke of work since Monday morning. He won't trot." Okay, so here now this horse is complaining to jinn about the camel. And see, how does it say, what word it takes? See, children, there is a thing, there's a thing. So it refers to that camel as a thing. So where is it? In the middle of the desert. And it also describes, the horse also describes the camel, long neck and long legs. And he hasn't done a stroke of work. You can underline this, children. Stroke of work means a little work. So even a little work also this camel did not do it. So from when it did not do it? Since Monday. Monday onwards it did not do it. He won't trot. Trot means he won't walk, or he won't take short steps. He won't move from there. Okay. Then, "View," said the jinn whistling. "That's my camel. What does he say about it?" So here view refers to, it is an exclamatory word, children, which is used by jinn, and he whistles out. Whistles means giving out a whistle. Okay, whistling means giving out a whistle. So that's my camel. What does he say about it? So what does that camel says? He says, "Hump, and he won't plough," said the ox. So ox says that he just says hump, but he will not come with me to plough the field. "Very good," said the jinn. "I will hump him if you will kindly wait a minute." So here, I will hump him, children. You can underline these words. I will hump. So I will hump him. Instance here, I refers to jinn. So jinn says that I will hump him. Hump him means set right, or I will deal with this particular camel appropriately, and I will set him right so that it can work with you all. And he says that you just kindly wait for a minute, right? Now let us see part 2. In part 2, the jinn remonstrated with the camel who said hump. So remonstrated means complained or disagreed. Jinn disagreed with the camel that it was not doing work. It disagreed that, and it wanted to change the camel. The camel's beautiful back suddenly grew a lump, which was the camel's hump. So in part 2 you can see that camel's back, the beautiful back, it had a beautiful back, and finally a hump grows on it. Okay. The jinn assured the camel his hump would always be a help, not a hindrance. So the jinn assures the camel that the hump which this camel is having, it will not be any obstacle or any hurdle or any barrier to the camel. Now let us see this lesson in detail. The jinn rolled himself up in his dust cloak and took a walk across the desert and found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. So dust cloak refers to cover of dust. So the jinn, he rolled himself in a cover of dust, and he was walking across the desert. And what did he find, children? Yes, he found you can see in the picture, he found the camel looking at his own reflection in the pool of water, right? My friend, said the jinn, what's this I hear of your doing no work? So now here what the jinn refers to the camel, jinn refers to the camel as my friend. What's this I hear? What's this? Means, what is this I heard of you? All the other animals are talking. They complain that you're not doing any work. So the jinn says, what's this I hear of you're doing no work? You're not doing any work. So this is what jinn says to camel, and referring to the camel as my friend. The jinn sat down with his chin in his hand, while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. So what was this jinn doing, children? So jinn, he sat down, right? And how did he sit? He sat with his chin in his hand. And at the time this camel was looking into a pool of water, it was looking at his own reflection. Okay, you have given the 3 extra work ever since Monday morning, all on account of your idleness, said the jinn, and he went on thinking with his chin in his hand. So now here this jinn says, you have given the 3 extra work. You have here refers to the camel. So jinn refers to the camel, saying that you have given the 3 extra. Here 3 refers to the other 3 animals. So you have given those 3 animals extra work ever since Monday morning. So Monday morning onwards, you're not doing any work. So you have given them the extra work. So how all this happened on account of your laziness. Idleness means laziness, said the jinn. And he went on thinking with his chin in his hand. So he said this to the camel, and he started just thinking on. He kept his chin in his hand, and he was just thinking how he has to change this animal, right? Hump, said the camel. So as usual, camel said hump. I shouldn't say that again if I were you, said the jinn. So jinn says that if I were you, I shouldn't say that particular word again. That is hump. You might say it once too often. So once you can say that. Okay, I want you to work. So jinn says that I want you to do the work. And the camel said hump again. But no sooner had he said it than he saw his bag that he was so proud of puffing up and puffing up into a great big hump. So when this camel again said hump, at that time what happened to the camel's beautiful bag? There grew something. What did it grow, children? So as this camel, actually it was very proud of its bag. So what happened to that bag? It started puffing up. So puffing up, and it became a great big hump. Okay, do you see that? Said the jinn. Jinn says, you see that? Okay, on your back. That's your very own hump that you have brought upon your very own self by not working. Today is Thursday, and you have done no work since Monday when the work began. Now you are going to work. Now this jinn says that, do you see that? So what it is referring at that particular moment, children? Yes, jinn is referring to the hump. That's referring to the hump, saying to the camel, and it's referring. Do you see that? See, that means what is that? That is hump. That's your very own hump. So very own hump means that is your hump. And you have brought it. Who brought that? How come you got that? You only have brought it. Okay, upon your own very self. Own very self means upon your back you have brought it. By how did you bring that hump on your back? By not working. And jinn says that now today is Thursday and you have done no work since Monday. So from Monday onwards you did not do any work. So when work began? So when did the work begin, children? Monday. So from Monday to till this Thursday you did not do any work. And now you are going to work. So jinn says that now today you have to work. So 3 days you did not do any work, right? Now you can see the next one. The next slide. How can I, said the camel, with this hump on my back? Now camel says that, now how do I work with this hump on my back? That has a purpose, said the Jinn. All because you missed those 3 days. So that hump, it is having a purpose. You have missed 3 days work. So that hump is because of your 3 days. You have missed the work for 3 days. No, that's why you got the hump. You will be able to work now for 3 days without eating because you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. Behave means talk properly or do your work along with them. Work along with them. So now here the Jinn says that you have missed those 3 days and you will be able to work for 3 days without eating. So that hump which you have, no, as you were resting for 3 days without any work, you have got that hump. So now 3 days you can do the work without eating. So because why without eating you can do the work? Because you have a hump and you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say I never did anything for you. So Jinn says that you don't tell that I did not do anything for you. Come out. So now Jinn says that you have to listen to me and don't say that I did not do anything to you. I'm doing certain things for you. I'm telling you that the hump which you have on the back, that is because you did not do the work. And it says, Jinn says that you go and work along with those three and behave. Behave here refers to talk properly or do work along with them. And the camel went away to join the three. And from that day to this, the camel always wears a hump. We call it hump now, not to hurt his feelings, but he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never yet learned how to behave. So now that hump which it is having, okay, we call that as a hump, okay, which it has which it has on its back. So why did it get that hump? Because as it has missed that 3 days of work at the when the world started at the beginning, it did not do 3 days work. So that's why it got the hump. And you know, this camel to this day it couldn't cope up the work. Okay, it couldn't replace that. Okay, see, uh, but he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed. So never yet caught up means it did not compensate. It did not work extra work. It did not do 3 more days work. It did not do it because now from the fourth day onwards it is doing with the others. It started doing the work with the others. So that 3 days it couldn't compensate, and he has never yet learned how to behave. So now children, from this particular lesson, what do you learn? So what does this particular fable teaches us? Yes, you have to do your work on time. Okay, so everyone, when a work is given to you, like homework, activity, anything is given to you, you need to sit and do the work on time. So otherwise you have to feel for it. Otherwise, when the teacher gives grades or marks anything, you need to feel for that, because as you don't do the work, you won't get it. So you have to or do your work on time. Otherwise you will regret it. Regret it means you will feel sad for not doing the work and not able to be with the other children. So whenever we get any sort of work, we'll try to do the work on time. Is it clear, children? Yes. Thank you.